Hey guys, Derpy here, back with another Bob Pirates video. And the first thing you're going to notice here is that I'm on Huggy Shipbuilder, not the actual game. Once again, this is a useful resource built by Dave, not by me. It's super useful for sharing builds online. I'm going to leave a link to this in the description if you want to check it out. Without further ado, let's get started. So this is my Hellwraith build that I'm going to suggest for the skirmish raids as of knowing what happened in the October raid, preparation for November, and the one after that. So first of all, you'll notice that the weapons I'm using here are Delirium torpedoes. And yes, this is the high-level torpedo, and I know that some people may not have that. If you don't have this, you want to use the Charon instead. It's a second, it's not a very close second, it's not really comparable, but use the Charon instead of another torpedo like the Fire Twister or the Mayhem. The Fire Twister and the Mayhem have an inherent flaw where they are dumbfire weapons that shoot at the spot and not a ship, which means they'll miss a fast-moving ship. So do not use those on any of these Hellwraith builds. Use the Delirium torpedoes first, and if you don't have those, use the Charons. So now that we have the weapons taken care of, let's look at these specials. So these weapons are concussive, so you're going to want to boost this damage somehow. And for that, I've chosen advanced torpedo tubes, or actually just torpedo tubes. If you don't have these, which many people will probably not, you should instead use the concussive payload, which is, let me find that right here. That's going to be in Forsaken, and it is right here. Advanced concussive payload that increases damage and reload. That's useful, long build time, but useful. If you don't have that, try the strike warheads, which just increases the concussive damage here. That's what you're going to want to use. If you have neither of those, you're super low level. Maybe the researchable tech here, the concussion warhead 3, that might work for you well, but it's only a 33% increase. Now that we have damage type out of the way, we need to get our ship moving because it's really hard to maneuver in this skirmish targets and take no damage if you can't really move. So for that, I have two things: Magnus Drive 3. Which increases your combat speed, is very fast. If you don't have Magnus Drive 3, Magnus Drive 2 is 100% acceptable to use. I actually have 2 on all my ships. Anyway, you also want to use Thruster 3 here, because that increases turn speed, which is not in the Magnus Drive 3 here. If you don't have either of those two, you might want to switch one out and use Speed System 5 instead. You can add another special later on. But these are just the generic things you need in here to begin with. Now that you have these two movement taken out of the picture, you need to focus on Nautilus Battery 3 here, which increases the cloak time of your ship. And that is super useful because the Hellwraith actually does surface in these targets, so you have to drive super skillfully. I don't recommend using the Hellwraith, I prefer my Tideseeker. Once again, I'll leave a link to that video in the description. But Nautilus Battery 3 means you have 40% more cloak time or 40 more cloak time, which means you're going to have an easier job driving. Now if these exact specials don't work for you, here's another option. I'm going to copy it over here, go to these specials, and change Magnus Drive 3 out for an empty spot. Then I'm going to change Thruster 3 out for Speed System 5 here, which increases movement as well as turn speed, so you don't really need both of those. Then for this next spot, I'm going to take out torpedo tubes as well, because that's pretty high tech. So you want something a bit lower, like advanced concussive payload. That's in the raids is super good. And then Nautilus Battery 3 is coming out for a Scourge tech called the Meniscus system. It's hard to say. Try saying that 10 times fast. That increases cloak time and cloak efficiency here, so that's useful. That replaces Caterpillar Drive 3 that you might otherwise put on, and also replaces Nautilus Battery 3. So that's a useful thing in these targets. For these last special here, you can do a couple things. You could try to increase the damage once more by using concussive upgrade here. That might be useful. Maybe Evade 3 might be useful for you. You don't really need a lot of Evade in these targets. So I'm going to just leave that blank for now so we have enough weight to put on armor. As far as armor goes, you're going to want some D2 CTs or some D1Xs or D2Xs because you're already pretty close to max limit here, and this is with the highest shipyard possible. So without the highest shipyard possible, if you want to put on armor, you're going to need to go down and take off a couple or just one of these Delirium torpedoes, which will give you a better build. So for this last special thought here, I'm going to put on Evade System 3, just in case something happens with these targets here and the changes that you need to evade. There are a couple torpedoes here that would be useful for in these current targets, but it's not a huge factor. This is my Hellwraith build. It takes 14 days to complete, about 2 hours to repair, and that's pretty close to the Tideseeker, especially in a raid where repair time isn't as important if you have half repair time. This is going to be super hard to drive in these targets, even with this high-level torpedoes. So if you have the Hellwraith and you have the Tideseeker, wondering which one to build, I'd build the Tideseeker. Once again, there's a link to a video of how to build that in the description. And if you like this video, make sure you leave a like. This is Derpy, signing out. helping you be a better pirate.